I was 32 years old when I went through the hardest time of my life. My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, which was a huge shock to me. I vividly remember receiving a call from the doctor telling me of my mother's diagnosis. At that moment, I felt so helpless and desperate. Despite our best efforts to seek the best medical resources and treatment options, the deterioration was faster than we expected. Soon, I realized we had to prepare for the worst. I had to face the harsh reality that my mother might leave me. As a single mother, she faced many challenges and pressures in those days. Society had a hostile attitude towards single mothers, which made her feel isolated and excluded. When I was first born, my mother considered sending me to an orphanage, but she didn't give up on me after all. She decided to leave her old city and start a new life in another one. She found a job as a waitress and did her best so that I could grow up happily. As her only son, I took on the responsibility of arranging the funeral. The night after my mother died, I lay in bed crying the whole time. I was filled with loss and sadness. My mother was one of the most important people in my life, and her love for me could not be expressed in words. During that time, I had a lot to deal with. I tried to stay strong, but every night I would think of my mother in bed. The night became a painful time for me, and I didn't have a normal rest for almost a week. One night, I suddenly felt a sharp pain start in my chest. I got up from the bed. Every breath I took brought great discomfort, and I knew I had to find relief from the pain as soon as possible. I trudged toward the medicine cabinet, each step accompanied by unbearable pain. My trembling hands struggled to open the drawer. I searched through it hurriedly, hoping to find some medicine that would relieve the pain. However, the excruciating pain kept spreading. My vision began to blur, and the sounds around me slowly became quiet. Suddenly, I lost my balance and collapsed helplessly to the ground. In that instant, I was plunged into darkness. When I opened my eyes again, I was floating above my body. I looked at the body lying there, still with a pained expression on my face. There seemed to be no longer any connection between me and that body, and I no longer felt its sensations. In that moment, I did not feel sad. It was like the clothes we wear, ready to be discarded when we don't need it. Suddenly, I noticed a tunnel appear above the living room. What happened next happened very fast, and I was moving forward in the tunnel at an amazing speed, and it kept getting faster. As time went on, I saw other tunnels begin to merge with mine, like ramps on a freeway. In these ramps, I noticed the presence of many beings similar to me. We all took the form of glowing white balls of light and moved in the same direction, toward a bright light in the distance. This sight struck and intrigued me. In that moment, I felt connected to other beings and that we were all pursuing the same goal. It was as if I had instantly learned a lot about the universe. I had no idea where this knowledge came from. I realized that the light was my destination, and it was my home. It was the place where I was created. All the emotions in me had disappeared. The anger and jealousy were gone. All I could feel was pure love. I entered into that light. There, I could not determine how long I stayed, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 500 years. Time lost its meaning in that place. I could feel millions of other balls of light experiencing similar things with me. We did not communicate with each other verbally, but understood and connected with each other in a way that transcended words. Just without any warning, I was suddenly pulled back. I appeared in a spacious white room. It was filled with a pure energy. I did not see any doors, windows, or ceilings. This room had no clear beginning or end, making it impossible for me to distinguish its boundaries. In this room, time lost its meaning. It was an infinite space, without the limits of time and space. In this room, I no longer feel hungry or thirsty. There seems to be no material need here. I still longed in my heart to return to that light. Suddenly, an angel appeared in front of me. He was almost as tall as a two-story building. He was wearing a pure white robe with delicate embroidery on it. He was wearing a magnificent golden belt around his waist, which shone with a divine light. The angel's wings shone with a seven-colored light. His wings flapped gently as if he possessed infinite power. The angel looked at me with a smile and said, "You are here again." I was very surprised to hear this question and did not understand what he meant. I asked, "What do you mean when you say I am here again?" The angel's smile was more gentle, and he explained that in the past, you had come here before. That time, you chose to return to Earth. Now, you are back in this place again. The angel's words awakened a memory deep inside me. I had once signed a contract with God. It contained a record of my mission and purpose on Earth. I asked the angel, if I had been here before, why would I choose to go back? The angel smiled and replied that you have free will and no soul is forced to leave here, so I cannot tell you the reason you left before. The angel then handed me the contract. I read the contents of the contract carefully. I knew that I had many goals left to accomplish. I knew that I had to return to Earth to complete my mission. Before I left, I asked the angel if he could let me see my mother. The angel looked at me with some confusion and then said, "I have not seen your mother in this place." I said to the angel that my mother was a very kind person who passed away 7 days ago and she did not deserve to go to hell. After listening to me, the angel said, "I understand, I will take you to a special place where the newly arrived souls are gathered. They are waiting there to enter heaven." The angel guided me into a peaceful and warm place. There was no concept of time here. Only eternal existence and pure energy. A soft light pervaded this place. Many balls of light floated in the air, and they shimmered with shimmering light. Each ball of light emits a unique energy. There are no boundaries or restrictions here. It is the middle ground connected to the house of light. Although there is no sensory experience of the material world, in this special place I am able to directly feel the emotions and thoughts of each soul. It was a spiritual communication, a way that transcended words. Suddenly, I felt my mother's soul. Her presence gave me immense comfort and warmth. Our souls were intertwined. Despite the absence of physical presence, I could feel her love for me. We spent precious moments there, reminiscing about the past and sharing our inner feelings. Although the parting was still painful, I knew that in this special place, my mother no longer suffered from pain and illness. The re-encounter with my mother gave me an overwhelming sense of happiness and satisfaction. I know that I must return to Earth to complete my mission. My mother's love would be my motivation to move forward until we were together again. A powerful energy was injected into my soul. I felt my pulse begin to beat regularly and blood flow through my veins. Slowly, my consciousness reunited with my body. I felt every nerve, every muscle reconnecting with my soul. I reconnected with this material world. I felt the gravity of the earth once again. When I woke up, I was lying on the floor, surrounded by familiar rooms and furniture. Upon entering my body, I felt very uncomfortable, as if I were wearing a dress that was on the small side. Although the physical pain had disappeared, my heart was filled with sadness. I hoped my mother would continue to live and that I would be able to join her again. I longed for that bright home. This longing and loss caused me to sink into a melancholy like never before. I could not eat properly, and food lost their flavor. I could not sleep. And the nights became long and lonely. My moods fluctuated and I was unable to concentrate on my daily tasks. I'm not sure how long this state lasted, but I know it gradually waned. I began to accept reality. Although the grief was still there, it would not overwhelm me, but would become a part of my growth. I gradually regained my appetite, my sleep, and my rhythm in life again. I told a few friends about my experience. One friend thought it was just a dream and not worth much attention. Another friend thought I was hallucinating from the impact on my head when I fell. However, one friend gave a different perspective, saying that it could have been a near-death experience. Inspired by this friend, I started searching the internet for articles and information about near-death experiences. I read many stories about near-death experiences. Some of the stories were so similar to what I had experienced that it made me believe what I was seeing was real. This discovery was comforting to me because it meant that my mother had gone to a very perfect place. She has found eternal happiness there and is no longer plagued by sickness and worry. I know that she continues to exist in the world of light and that her soul is liberated. This belief gives me the strength and comfort to know that my mother has not really left me and that she is still with me. I believe that her love will always guide and accompany me. Although some people have different opinions about my experience, I have found my own answer, and that answer gives me inner peace and determination. I would like to pass on this belief to others so that they too can feel the presence of light and hope. In communicating with the angels, I was also taken back to a slice of my past life. I saw the heartwarming moments of my childhood with my mother, who nurtured me with endless love and care as I grew up. I saw the efforts and frustrations of my youthful years. These memories are so precious and real.